Hi, third grade. All right, so this week for science, we are going to do an engineering project together, and you are going to create your very own design out of materials that you have in your home. Okay, so we are going to use our story of Oliver K. Woodman as our idea, as our jumping point. Okay. If you remember, Oliver was on an adventure with Bobby Joe. I think his name was Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe, the truck driver. Remember? And the truck driver had to go to Florida. So he left him in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then 2 pages later, we find that poor Oliver had been on a reservation in the middle of New Mexico for months. For a month, I think, right? And they had a mouse so long that a mouse made a nest in his backpack. So we're going to stop in that little section right there between when Bobby Joe leaves them and when Melissa's grandfather finds them in the reservation. And we are going to have Operation Rescue Oliver. Okay. And your job is to design and create some vehicle, some way to get Oliver out of that middle of the reservation. Okay. Now, when I think of it, the first thing that comes in my head is a car, right? Sure, create a car, make wheels and axles. You could do that. You could do a skateboard. You could do a scooter. You could do a bicycle, all those with them wheels and axles. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be a hot air balloon. It could be an airplane. It could be a spaceship. Whatever idea you have that you think you can create, go for it. Okay. Now, normally in school, I would give you some materials and then you would go from there to kind of figure out what you're going to create. But since everybody's at home and everyone has different materials, this project is wide open. Okay. So it's completely up to what you have in your house and what your parents, now this is a big one, what your parents say is okay for you to use. Okay. You need to check that part out. So you could go outside. You could use rocks and sticks and pine cones and leaves. Make sure you don't hurt anything that's living, right? You could go to your recycling bin and use yogurt cups and paper towel rolls and whatever else you have in that recycling bin, tissue boxes, and all those kinds of things. You go to your craft cabinet, okay? You could use glue, you could use tape, you could use hot glue if that's okay with your mom and dad. It's up to you what you use. So your materials, wide open. You get to choose. Okay. So I would suggest the first step. Usually, the first step is to make a plan because you already know your materials. I think the first step for us on this project is to kind of collect some materials and have your brain start thinking how could you combine these materials to create something that would get Oliver out of New Mexico. Then you need to come up with a plan. Okay, and you'll see on the Google Slides that I've attached, you're going to kind of write down what your plan is, kind of think through it, type up your plan. And then you're going to build. Okay. And you're going to build your creation, your spaceship, your skateboard, your scooter, whatever you're creating. You're going to build your creation and you're going to test it out, see if it works. Can you get Oliver out? Now, Oliver could be a stick. Oliver could be a pipe cleaner. You can just pretend Oliver's there, but the vehicle actually has to move in some form or fashion. Okay. So test it out. And then you're going to write a little bit about the outcome. How did it work? What happened? Did it work? Did it not work? Now remember, not everything we try is going to work, and everything we try is not going to work the first time. Okay. And then you're going to write a little reflection on what could you have changed? What would you do differently? What really worked well? What didn't work well? Okay. So you have all week to create something really cool. You're going to attach a picture. You can either attach it in the slide or you could attach it just an attachment onto this assignment. And you're going to fill in the Google slide kind of as you work through the engineering process, the creative process of designing and building, testing, tweaking, reflecting, all those things, all those engineering steps that we've worked on in different projects in the classroom. I cannot wait to see what you come up with. So good luck on Operation Rescue Oliver.